How bad do you want it? Welcome to Entrepreneur 101. My name is Seth Mulder. Excited to have you here for another episode. Certainly, we're going to talk about some stuff that can absolutely be life-changing. This series, Entrepreneur 101, is dedicated to bringing you 101 ideas, 101 concepts, 101 principles, secrets, if you will, keys. Good to see you on Michael Jafar's. To becoming a high-powered, million-dollar entrepreneur. 101 ideas. This is episode number 4. How bad do you want it? Or, in other words, hungry. Hunger. How hungry are you? A favorite country song of mine, by the way, if you can name this artist, whether you're listening to this live, whether you're catching a replay on Facebook or on LinkedIn, or you're seeing it on YouTube, wherever it might be, drop a comment. First one, you're starving, Marcella. Excellent. It's almost breakfast time where I am in the world today, and so I am hungry as well. Wherever you are, if you know the artist who wrote this song, I shouldn't say wrote this song, but the artist who sings this song, that could get technical, then drop it in the comment section, and we'll do something. We'll send you something. We'll recognize you with something. We'll have some fun with that. But the song basically goes like this, or part of the song: how bad do you want it? Are you eating, sleeping, dreaming with that one thing on your mind? I love the words to that song. I love the beat to that song. I love that song. And it is certainly appropriate as an entrepreneur and as one of these 101 of the most powerful ideas and secrets to becoming a $1 million producer, a $1 million maker, and maybe I should say a $1 million keeper in the entrepreneurial word is you got to be hungry. Too many entrepreneurs are not successful or not successful enough because they simply are not hungry. Antithesis of hunger would be complacency, satisfaction with where we are. Now, one of the keys, obviously in life and in business, is to be grateful for what we are. And I think some people, as I travel the world, as I train entrepreneurs around the world, as I work with entrepreneurs, sometimes people, I think, get a little concerned. They get concerned that, I need to be satisfied with where I am. It's not appropriate. It's not right. It's not a correct human principle to be hungry, right? I need to just accept where I am. And frankly, that's just not true. That goes against the entire universal law of progression. Let me throw this thought out to you. It is entirely appropriate to be grateful. To be grateful for all that you have, and we should. In fact, that's one of the keys. You might hear that in a later episode of Entrepreneur 101. But being grateful is not the same as being satisfied. They are different. And in order for you to be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to be highly unsatisfied, dissatisfied. At the same time, grateful for all that you've been given, but unsatisfied, dissatisfied. When you look at the potential around you, the potential to do good, the potential to be good, to be better, the development of self, the development of other people, you have to be hungry. You have to be hungry for something that you do not have. When you compare where you are today with where you might be, if you go on the hero's journey, the difference of those, living here and settling, just like silt settles to the bottom of the lake or the bottom of that river at the lowest point, or maybe not the lowest point, because you might be able to push it lower, but at a point where there is not as much resistance, where we're comfortable to stay where we are. Because in order to rise from a settled position, from kind of that middle ground, from the averageness, from normalcy, from mediocrity, in order to rise from that, it is going to take work. And the only thing that is really going to push you from this place, mediocrity, and settling, to this place, a fullness of your potential, is that one word, hunger. You have got to be hungry. Are you eating it? Are you sleeping it? Are you dreaming it? Is it the one thing on your mind? Are you obsessed for it? And because of it, and in order to attain it. That is a key to being an entrepreneur. Some people are not prepared right now to be entrepreneurs based on the reality that they're not hungry. Okay? And so let's address that. What if you're not hungry? What if you're not a healthy addiction? I think that's a great perspective, Michael. It is a healthy addiction. It's an obsession, but it's healthy because it commits us to grow. And growth is an eternal principle in our lives. So what if you're not hungry right now? What if you're not pushing hard enough in your business? Could it be that you're not hungry enough? I want to paint a picture for you. I want you to imagine that there is a table, a banquet table, 100 meters, 100 yards long. Yeah, and by the way, wherever you're listening to this, if you're hungry, drop a hungry in the comment section or the notes section, whatever media you're getting this on. I'd love to know that you're hungry, and more importantly, I'd love to know what you're hungry for. I'll address that in a minute as we close up. But I want you to imagine a banquet table 100 meters long, 100 yards long. And on that banquet table is everything that you desire. Something that you're so hungry for. If it's food, let's say it's the best foods. I love apple pie. I love ice cream. I love peach pie and blackberry pie and Marionberry pie. I love pies, guys. I love meat pies. I love steak. I mean, there's so many things, right? But I want you to think of everything that you love, whether it's broccoli salad. If I think of Thai food, I think of green papaya salad, some som tom Thai, or some northern Thailand curry noodle soup, khao soi. If I was in Japan, I'd be hungry for sushi and for so many of the incredible foods there. But whatever that is, mashed potatoes and gravy. I also want you to think about that banquet table. And I want you to think about what you are eating right now today. I want you to think about every good thing, not just food. I'm talking about a state of mind, a state of being. What if on that table, that 100-meter long table that you have been invited to, that you've been invited to dine at, that you have been invited to be a participant, a full participant in, what if at that table was quiet confidence? What if at that table was pastoral peace? What if at that table was a burgeoning belief in yourself and others around you? Some of you struggle with confidence and being at peace or having belief. What if at that table was the destruction of depression? What if at that table was flowering of faith in your life and that growing of faith? What if at that table was every healthy, emotional smorgasbord, dish that you could partake of? That's the table that I'm talking about as an entrepreneur. But so many of us, and if you're here, I want you to identify with that and accept it and then move beyond that. But so many entrepreneurs don't come to live or eat at the table. They simply, like rats in cages, go to the little pellet dispenser, press the pellet, get a little alfalfa pellet or whatever that is, that pellet that we are satisfied with, that we have settled for, and we eat it. We go back to our corner. We live in the little mazes, the little worlds, the limitations that we have accepted, and we don't fully sup at the table. Some of us don't feel that it's possible. Some of us have forgotten that there is a table. Some of us don't know. And if you know that there's a table and you're not telling the people around you, as an entrepreneur, as a believer, as a leader, as an influencer, that there is a table, that there is a place for other people, then you're not fully at the table either. Some people have been at the table once, but they've fallen from grace, if you will. They've lost the vision. They've gone from peak to valley, and they're not at that table right now. But I want to let you know, I want to be an entrepreneurial witness that table exists, that there's a place for you at that table, and that table has every good thing, that you can truly sup at that table. The confidence, the absence of depression, the flowering of your faith, and every good thing, peace and belief and goodness. The ability, as Steve Jobs said, to make a dent in the universe. But you have to be hungry. You have to realize that you're sitting in a mouse cage, in a mouse trap. You're eating the pellet that's been given to you, and maybe it's a job that you've been doing for 33 years, and that is never going to help you reach your potential. I had somebody who reached out to me recently, a man in his 50s, who was deeply dissatisfied and felt like he was almost a zombie, just accepting, settling, being satisfied, but wholly unsatisfied and hungry in his soul for something else, and he wants to be an entrepreneur. That is the hunger that it takes. I'll tell you what I was hungry for as an entrepreneur. I was hungry for 100% freedom. Freedom. What does 100% freedom mean? It means to have freedom of money, to have freedom of time, to have freedom of health. That is the trifecta. You want to have all three things. You don't, 100% money and having a ton of money, 100% freedom of money, but not 100% freedom in the other two categories, means that you can be very lonely. You can be surrounded by the good things, the good fruits of the earth, but not have the time to enjoy them, not have the health to enjoy them, or the relationships to enjoy them. One of the things that caused me in my early 20s, how many years ago is that? In the late 1900s, right? 98, 99, the turn of the century, the turn of the millennium, 2000. I started to become deeply dissatisfied. I started to become hungry because I started to realize, first of all, that there was a table. There was a table that I could eat at that could have every good thing, and on that table was 100% freedom, and I was not experiencing 100% freedom in my life at that time, and I wanted it. It became something that I obsessed about. It became something that I ate, that I slept, that I dreamt. It became something that I lived with constantly. I became hungry, and that hunger led me to finding answers. You see, the hunger isn't the answer. The hunger doesn't necessarily tell you all the steps, but it gets you moving, at least in the right direction, and continuing to move in the right direction, next step to next step to next step to next step, and you continue to be hungry. You gotta be hungry. You gotta want it, guys. I hope you found value here. If you're hungry, drop hungry in whatever comment form on whatever multimedia you're watching this, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or some other form. Tell me what you're hungry for, and tell me what you've settled for in the life. Let's have a conversation for. Have you been settling, and if so, what have you been settling for? God bless you. This is Seth Mulder. This is Entrepreneur 101. You got to be hungry.